Hi everyone, Dr. Nicole LaPera here. Today's video is on the ego, and in particular, the ego's favorite stories. So what is the ego? The ego, really simply, is the story of us, the story, our beliefs of who we think we are. Those of us who have been practicing what I call objective observation of our internal world, of our thoughts, right? Really simple. If we pay attention to our thoughts all day, what we are finding out is that our ego is talking to us all day long. And it tends to tell us the same stories all day long. I want to remind you that the ego believes it is protecting us by keeping us in those familiar stories. If it can anticipate a future that's similar to its past, the ego believes it keeps us safe. However, what begins to happen is we get stuck in these very familiar stories that aren't helpful to us. Those of us who have experienced any version of abuse, the big T, the little t, oftentimes one of our core beliefs about ourselves is a version of I'm not worthy. Now these stories, these ego beliefs, are the lens, in a sense, that we are viewing our entire current experience, which is why for so many of us, we can't change those beliefs. We're stuck in them. We're bringing these past beliefs and we're recycling them into our current experience, and we cannot create change. So what are some of the beliefs, if you pay attention to those thoughts, that you might be seeing or hearing you telling yourself all day long? So the first one, again, is another version of that I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough. Any iteration of that, a lot of our egos like to tell us that type of story. Another really common belief is that people, maybe a specific person, are doing better than me. Right? So now I'm comparing myself down. Here's everyone else doing better in whatever area, in all areas of life. Another really common ego story is I am behind in some way. Now insert whatever way, in my career, in my relationship, in having children, in how successful or unsuccessful I am. Again, I'm comparing myself not favorably down, right? These people are achieving this level of success in these areas that I am not. Another really common one, oftentimes in our relationships, is a deep belief that no one will love me. Another one is that someone, insert, maybe it's everyone else, is more attractive than myself. And a final one is I can't do what other people do. Again, some of us get really specific. We can't do one thing. Some of us globalize it, and we believe we can't do anything that other people do. We can't life the way other people life. So some themes you're going to see in here, right? Competition, comparison. That's the voice of the ego. When we are feeling at threat, we really go into this us versus them mentality where everyone else that's not us, that's them, feels a threat to us. So what do? We go into that kind of competitive mode where we try to maintain our sense of self or the story of who we are by putting other people down. So those are the themes that you're going to see in here, this competition, this competitiveness. And again, all of these are born out of these ego stories. It's best attempt at trying to keep us safe or in the unfamiliar, but that ultimately just keeps us stuck. So I share this with you. If you're experiencing any or all of these, common ego stories, I want to normalize that. I want to offer you that so many of us are. And I also want to acknowledge that these are just stories. These are not who you are. These have just become too practiced. You've told yourself this for too long, a lot of times based on very real past painful experiences. Our first step to creating change is identifying the separateness, that these stories exist and are painful, but they're not who I am. There's more to who I actually am. So I hope you find this video helpful. We are all telling ourselves stories all day long. The first step to creating change is acknowledging that they are just stories.